It is the Riot Podcast. This is the Worst of the Riot 2023, where we get to look back on some of our highlights from throughout the past 365 days. You'll hear some of myself, a lot of myself. You'll hear some Isaiah. You'll hear a little of Nikki as well popping up in here. Today on the show, we bring back one of the most controversial topics I think I've ever gotten the most blowback for. Would you say that, Isaiah?
The water bottle conversation was one that you did get a lot of blowback. You were very wrong.
Well, that's tough to say. I never back down, but many agree with you that I was wrong.
We also talk about the last time you ghosted somebody, who cries more, men or women, the ugliest dogs, how to compliment men, and much more.
Yeah. You know what? You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to actually listen to this too, because it's been so long since we did any of these topics. I don't remember a lot of things we said.
I'm sure we said some ridiculous things.
Let's find out. It's the Worst of the Riot.
The good news is the Riot is on vacation now. The bad news is that doesn't mean you get a break from them. This is the Riot's Worst of 2023.
I think research from India, their premier animal research body, a veterinary research institute in India, this research has flown under the radar for a little while, but I think it's worth bringing up. They have found that drinking cow urine is unfit for humans.
They found that just now?
They just discovered this.
Got it. Is that like a common thing there?
That I'm not sure of.
It sounds like it might be. If I had to go on a limb and say...
The idea that they had to even test it does it calls it into question, for sure. But they went through and they tested not just the urine of cows, but also buffaloes and humans to see if it was safe for drinking.
This is where again, you said?
India.
Got it,
the country of India at their ICAR, Indian Veterinary Research Institute.
I'm looking here because I typed in who drinks urine of cows.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, you typed that in.
And it seems as if in India, they thought that cow dung and urine could possibly be a cure for COVID-19.
They did. Okay.
And they're saying now, possibly not.
They've uncovered the fact that is not the case.
Now, let me ask you this as well, just real quick.
Yeah.
Why would they think of that as a possible option? Like, you went through a lot of things that, like, maybe this could cure COVID, right?
Uh-huh.
Who was the guy leading the charge of the research that was like, you know what, if we tried cow urine? Have you tried? The next question is, too, did they go through multiple animal urine before getting to cow urine?
Yeah.
Where they were like, this might be the one to try, and I guess that person got cured.
I imagine that they probably went to cow first because it'd be easier to obtain than many other animals.
Yeah.
Their cows are pretty stationary and pretty common, so I think you'd be able to, and probably urinate a lot, I would guess, based off of their size. So I think that might be one reason they might jump to that conclusion. Two, it's a desperate time.
I guess so, you know?
Like, we were all searching for answers during COVID. We all just wanted it to be over and to avoid getting it however we could. And thirdly, on that one, maybe they thought, whoever pioneered that idea thought, well, cows don't have COVID, do they?
They don't.
Ipso facto,
if
cow
they don't
urine,
have it,
it must be their urine.
see, there's a lot of studies here. They're talking about cow urine and the benefits, and they're all from India. This is getting weird. They have there's a long list here.
I guess so.
Of things cow urine used to treat fever as well. In India only.
Who are we to judge?
I guess they're big cow urine fans.
Maybe this is the survey, the study, the research that will turn the tides in India, where they will curtail their cow urine ingestion. Now, I want to clear this up. If you're thinking the worst thoughts of, well, how did they test this? Did they have some, unsuspecting subjects that just had to go through and taste samples of different urines?
Makes sense.
No, these are like bacteria tests. And they found in cow urine, at least 14 harmful bacteria. I don't need to tell you this, do I?
I think I've got it. Like, I understand that when you pee, it's bacteria.
To clear it up, there was 14 types of harmful bacteria just in the cow urine that they found, including the most common E. coli, and we all know that's no good. So drinking cow urine to be avoided. They did find that buffalo had significantly better antibacterial response, much less bacteria in the buffalo urine. So if you're going to drink any urine, go with the buffalo.
Well, let me go back at you real quick, just because this article I have in front of me, this India article, talking about some of the benefits of some of the things that they use cow urine to treat.
Okay.
We've got cancer, leprosy, fever, epilepsy, peptic ulcers, and a bunch of other things too. So I mean, either way, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, new research comes out every day. We'll see what they come back with.
This is how it is, just like with coffee. One day you get a study that's anti-drinking cow urine, and tomorrow I'm sure we'll get one that's pro-drinking cow urine.
I mean, India's going to come back with they're going to say a rebuttal.
The back and forth. How can you tell what's the truth?
You can't.
This isn't the worst thing anyone did this year, but it is the worst thing that anyone did on The Riot, 2023's Worst of the Riot.
I've got a survey of how much money you need to have for people to think you're wealthy. How much do you think the average American, how much money you think they consider, oh, you're a wealthy person?
I would say.
Or what would you say?
What would I say?
Yeah, what's your answer?
I mean, my number is much lower, I think, than the average American.
You think so?
Yeah, because I think that I don't have to be that rich to feel rich, you know?
Yeah.
Because I don't ask for all that much. Like, I don't need a mansion.
Yeah.
I don't need a boat to feel rich. I think I could feel rich off of a lot less money. But I would say people used to say it's like $1 million. Like $1 million felt like a lot of money before.
Yeah.
And now inflation, all that jazz. It's got to be more than that. I'm going to go 1.6.
1.6. You really?
7.
1.7.
1.7. If you got that much money, you're feeling pretty good. You're feeling pretty hot.
Yeah. You feel set? You think you feel set if you have 1.7 million?
If you have that in your bank account right now, I mean, you're feeling pretty good about any purchase you make.
I'd feel amazing. Yeah. I'll tell you, this is actually really interesting that the average American says that someone else needs to have $2.2 million to feel wealthy. So if I was the average American, and we're talking about you, in my eyes, you would need $2.2 million for me to think you're a wealthy person. Yeah, you've got just $2 million, you're not wealthy. In my eyes, as the average American.
I think I could give it a shot.
You think so?
Give me $2 million. Let's see if I feel wealthy or not.
Yeah.
Let me try.
See if we think you're wealthy.
True.
But see, this is interesting because what you say actually kind of lines up with the survey, because people who themselves felt wealthy had an average of $560,000. That's the average. That means there's people with less than $560,000 that feel wealthy, consider themselves wealthy.
Interesting. That's a good thought. I think, like, when I think of wealthy, that's like you don't need to know the cost of anything before you purchase it. Like anything that you buy, it doesn't matter how much it costs. You can just buy it. I think being like well off is like you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think being wealthy is like you don't even care. Like you're not worried about any purchase that you make. No matter how big, you can just make it.
You can just buy whatever you want. But I don't know, because I think if you got to, like, let's say you have $1 million, I think I would feel wealthy at $1 million. But that's still not enough to just be buying a Lamborghini.
No, you can't hot dog that much, you know?
No, you'd have to still be reasonable, I'd think, at $1 million. But you know what? I'd love to find out. I would love to find out.
I'd love to give it a rep. Like, give me like a weekend where I can just spend as much as I want.
Let's do an experiment. Let's do this experiment. This Charles Schwab is the one that conducted this survey. I think they should do this experiment. Give me, continue to give me more money, and then I'll tell you at what point, when I get to the point where I feel like I'm wealthy.
Yeah, because
I think that's pretty scientific.
I think, because I don't buy a lot of things that are very expensive. And so when I think of my own rule, which is if you're wealthy, that means that you don't need to know the cost of something before you purchase it.
Yeah.
No matter how big your purchase is. I feel like I could do that off of a lot less money because I don't buy anything that's all that expensive. And so I feel like you give me a lot less money and not even tell me how much I have, and I would be fine for a while.
Do you think if you were wealthy, do you think you would still eat the same, or do you think you'd improve? Like, would you still be buying Kroger brand stuff, or
That's a good question.
if you had $2.2 million?
I think I would still eat the same. I think I would just go out to eat more. That's what would happen.
Yeah.
I'd probably start DoorDashing. That's what I would do. I would just DoorDash all the time if I had $100 billion.
2024 can't get here soon enough. 2023's Worst of the Riot.
When you think of the country of Finland, what comes to mind? I've got 3 things. What do you have?
The Finnish.
The Finnish.
How about Finley?
What is that?
Finley?
Finley.
Yeah, Finley.
What is that?
What do you mean? That's the capital city.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
There has to be a city there called Finley in Finland. There's no way.
I'd be surprised.
I'd put my life savings on it. There's no way
I've got 3 actual things that actually are Finnish things that come to mind. 1, the sauna.
Oh, the sauna.
They love
this
the
is the happy
there.
place. This is the happy place.
Yep. That was the third one. The second one I was going to say is their prime minister. I think many would consider her the hottest world leader.
Is she?
I think she is.
Let me look.
I mean, I don't know all the world leaders, so I don't know enough to say, but I just
What's
think
she called?
has,
The prime minister?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe president. The leader of Finland, people say she's attractive.
She is. She is attractive.
Yeah, more attractive than the standard world leader. But the happiness is what we're talking about here. And Finland is, in fact, so happy, which is great that they wouldn't it be amazing if our reputation was the United States? We're just so happy. But that's not us. It's Finland. And they're so happy that now in Finland, they're teaching a master class on how to be happy like they are in Finland.
I wonder what they teach.
Well,
do you go there?
Oddly
Who's
enough,
teaching it, you know?
I think it's at a resort.
The average Joes of there?
And I believe that the sauna actually gets included.
Does it?
Yeah, that's actually a part of it.
This sounds like a fun little camp of just happy things. You
Yeah.
get to sit in the sauna.
It does sound like a good time. And I think I would like to learn. I mean, I would like to experience the sauna. I'd like to learn how to be happy like they are in Finland. But let's think about this. Let's be realistic. In the United States, what are we known for? What kind of masterclass could we teach the rest of the world?
See, I was thinking about this, and so I went ahead and just Googled it.
Okay.
Because like it's
what
hard.
Ideas?
It's hard when you live here to know like what we're known for, you know. But I want to see an outsider's perspective.
At least if you've not traveled abroad.
Yeah, I want to know what an outsider's perspective is of like what we're known for. The number one thing that came up, you're never gonna believe this: hot dogs.
That's what the United
It's
States
number
is known
one.
for.
Number one was
How
hot
could
dogs.
we even teach a master class about hot dogs?
I
I'll tell
don't
you,
know.
if somebody was going to teach it, it'd be me. Sign me
Yeah,
up.
that's what I thought.
I'll be the professor of that one.
There were some other ones. Music was one of the top ones. Talk about music.
We do have a good music scene in the United States, for sure.
American football.
Yeah,
They know that
no
we're big on
country
that.
does real football like the United States.
The rest of the list is kind of crappy.
The world could learn a lot from us.
Like locations and things like that. Obviously, we have the Grand Canyon. We're not teaching a master class. How about like, I think it's not on the list, but I think people think that we're kind of thick.
Thick?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's the one that came to mind for me was overeating.
Yeah, like how to just enjoy food as much as possible.
I think we
how
could
much
teach,
food can you eat in one sitting?
and just eating more than you actually need.
And like fast food wise, I feel like we're a big fast food place. We got to be right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a pretty good skill.
I also thought if you go to another country, what do they think about the United States? They think of us as cowboys. and
Really?
hillbillies, I think. So maybe we could
Country.
teach. Yeah, we could teach people how to, make moonshine and lasso a pig. or
Wineries
something.
was a big one too. So.
Wineries.
Wineries,
really?
yeah. Known
I
for
mean,
that.
I can think of at least 2 other countries that
I
come to mind
know.
before us.
Hey,
on
you know
that.
what? I'm just throwing out what's
Reading
on the list.
Reading the list. I don't know.
But yeah, those are some of the things that I found. Yeah, I think overeating.
For being such
thick.
a big and successful country, I'd say you'd think we'd have more to offer the world than hot dogs and wineries.
Oh, you want to know what we can teach them a masterclass on
yeah.
how to be powerful? That's how
That's
we do
right.
it.
How to throw your weight around.
Maybe a little bit of country pride. We're pretty prideful.
We are very
We love it here.
patriotic.
Oh yeah, we love it here. We eat it up. So I mean, those are some of the things that we could teach others.
Yeah, there's a lot. The world could learn a lot from us. I'll say that.
2024 can't get here soon enough. 2023's Worst of the Riot.
But now that we've passed Valentine's Day, I think we can move on to ghosting season.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, that's where you, if somebody lets you down on Valentine's, you just ghost them.
Oh,
Leave
what a
them wondering.
holiday.
Yeah, but some people just don't meet expectations, you know?
So if you did not get what you wanted yesterday, it wasn't enough, or it wasn't what you were wanting,
Yeah.
and you're ready to break up with the person, it's called ghosting season now.
I'm just making that up, but
Sounded good.
sure, I think it's worthy of a news article.
Is that
now.
with Mardi Gras?
You don't want to tie yourself down before that. No, I do have new research here that says that for now, 2 out of 3 people say they have ghosted someone and been ghosted themselves.
Yeah.
So ghosted people ghost people, it sounds like. Have you guys ever been ghosted?
Isaiah?
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah, definitely ghosted. Nikki?
I have ghosted.
You're a ghoster.
I really don't like conflict. So to me, I would prefer someone just ghost me and not tell me what the issue is. And so that's what I've done to others because I don't want to have the big conversation of why it's not working anymore.
You think they
So-
could debate you into changing your mind?
Oh, I just
Or
don't
not
even-
actually changing your mind, but
I just don't
That's
even
what
want
Making
I'd
you
be
to.
afraid
say,
of.
I'll keep texting you.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just don't even want to have the conversation.
Yeah, that's probably it, in your situation. That's
Maybe
the right
it's
thing
best,
to do.
yeah.
What about? Well, you say you've been the ghoster, Isaiah. Have you been the ghoster?
I have ghosted.
Yeah.
Yay.
Now, how does it make you? I guess I want to go back. How does it make you feel to get ghosted?
It just depends on who it was. Some people I'm like, meh.
Some it's a
Yeah.
relief.
Other people, yeah, it just depends. It all depends on who the person is. Sometimes I'm like, that stinks. Other times I'm like, I don't really mind. Sometimes I don't even notice. And so it just depends
Yeah.
on who it is.
Well, what about this? How long does somebody have to go with not responding to you before you realize you've been ghosted?
No, I think it only would take a week or so, depending on
A
how
whole
close.
week?
Depending on how close you were.
Yeah.
It just depends on the relationship, I think.
Yeah.
It could be 24 hours. It could be 48 hours. Sometimes
I
72
feel like
hours.
48.
Could be a couple
You're
of
just
months.
listing times now.
It could be 12 hours. 2 weeks.
What do you want him to say?
Yeah, I don't
Hudson?
know. I just
Lots
didn't
of
know if
different
there was
times.
a cutoff, but I feel like 48 to 72 hours feels about right. I'll tell you, I could never go through with the ghosting. I couldn't do it. I'm too polite.
You get your first one down. It's easy
yeah,
after that.
no, I'm
It's
too
fine.
polite.
No,
Even if it's a bad date or something, I could never
I think you're better at it than you
get
realize.
myself to do it. I had
could do
to.
it.
No, I couldn't bring myself. I always had to eventually scare the woman away. But I could never be the one to do the breaking up. Every
Is
date
that
would
booing?
end
No.
a polite handshake and I'll see you next time. But I could never just pull
Just
the
ghost?
plug. Yeah, I could never ghost.
See, I think once you do it once, then it just rolls off the tongue. I've got
Yeah.
like 49 unopened messages right now. And I'm just refusing to even look at them.
When you put it that way, I've never intentionally ghosted somebody, but maybe sometimes I'm really bad at answering texts, so maybe someone's out there right now is going, "You definitely ghosted me." And actually, they could be right about
They'll
that.
come back to haunt you.
I didn't ghost you. I just accidentally ignored you
Well,
because you
in
weren't a
this-
priority.
This study, they said that breaking up is a negative experience. I mean, none of us will argue that. But those that yearn for closure are the ones that are most upset. And I feel like I don't really care if there's not closure or not. I just rather not have the conflict to get to the closure.
Yeah.
So ghost away.
I mean,
I was going to say the worst is when they like call you out for ghosting. Then when they text you and they're like, "Oh, you're a ghoster?" And I'm like, "I guess so." And then you
But
don't
that's a
re-
tactic.
and then
That's a
you don't
tactic,
reply to that
yeah.
one either. You don't reply to that one either.
Then you're just giving them what they want.
Exactly.
And it's sometimes easier if they're just mad at you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
it's
just let it
sometimes
go.
Easier.
Yeah, and then maybe that gives them the closure.
Yep.
Accusing you of being a ghoster, which you are. I get that. I don't know. I think that's the closure you need sometimes. It's just to be ignored.
Everybody's different. Everybody's takes are different with it. But I
Yeah.
feel like ghosting it's not as shocking and it's more the common practice than it used to be.
Yep, it's one thing's for sure. Ghosting here to stay.
You could be a nice ghoster. Again, like if you think
Now,
that.
how do you do that?
Now, let's just.
I don't know if there's different forms.
Yeah,
There
let her
is.
keep talking.
Yeah.
Let
Hang
her
on,
keep-
walk with me. So, like, if you know that it's better for you and this person to just ghost, then you do that. If it's not, then you have to be grown up enough to have a conversation with them.
Fair.
But for a lot of people, ghosting is just enough. Like, what do you got to do?
Yeah.
Call them? Like, we can't
Fair.
do phone calls.
Yeah, all of a sudden, if somebody ghosts you and you don't let it go, all of a sudden you're the crazy
You're the
one.
crazy one. You're for
So-
sure the crazy
But
one.
like, if you've been together for 10 years, like, you're not
Yeah.
ghosting then.
Well, unless you look at the TikTok that I posted the last time we talked about ghosting. And one guy's like, my wife was married to me for 10 years and ghosted me. But then the guy admitted it was his fault.
Okay, well, then that's
Love
good.
TikTok.
Most people wouldn't want this clip played again, but Hudson and Isaiah aren't most people. The Riot's worst of 2023.
Hey, they landlord in New York City. They're vegan. And this vegan landlord is forbidding people who would cook meat or fish. Fish to me is meat, but they differentiate from applying to fill the empty spaces in the apartments that this landlord is in charge of. Fair or foul off the rip?
This seems wild.
Off the top, right?
I would lean no. I think this is a little bit crazy.
You think it's you're crying foul?
You're asking a lot of people to also be vegan that live in your apartment complex.
You think it's hard to get an apartment in New York City, right?
Yeah.
You think people would go vegan just to be able to get this if it was a good deal?
I might act vegan to get in there, but I'll tell you this much. There's no way I'm not cooking meat. Not a shot.
Yeah.
Like,
You
you'd literally have to be vegan to live there.
How could
He
you?
wants a vegan community. Maybe he's building a vegan community.
It sounds like it. Yeah. I'm seeing here that it's not even like it's a pricey apartment that you're looking at as well. They say, in regards to this apartment, it's not vegetarian only, but the owner lives in the building and doesn't want the smell of cooking meat drifting upstairs. So it's not even like necessarily, like you said, a vegan community, but it is one of those things. And we've seen stories about this before where vegan neighbors will complain. They can smell somebody barbecuing 2 houses down and complain about it. And that's exactly what this is about. They don't want you cooking bacon and then being able to smell it upstairs.
Yeah, I mean, I get that because I know the whole smell thing can be sensitive to people.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, in an apartment complex, like, those are just the kind of things that you live with if you live there. Like, there's certain things, if you want to avoid every smell that you can imagine, then you need to buy your own house. You need to go live somewhere else.
It's the landlord. This is their own
but
house.
he's
They're renting
living-
out some of it.
He's living amongst the people. Like, he's living in the apartment. So then you're going to be having the same issues as everybody else.
Does your opinion change if I told you that there's 2 listings, either one for $4,500 a month or one for $5,750 a month?
That makes it even worse.
Do you think that makes it worse?
Way worse.
Well, think about this though.
Okay.
All right. This is the landlord. They're in charge of this place. They live there. They're in charge of collecting this rent, right? So if they want to put out these wild stipulations, and then have difficulty finding a tenant, isn't that their choice?
It is.
They're the ones losing out on about $5K a month if they can't get somebody to fill it.
I think it's fine for them to do that, but I'm just telling them I think it's crazy.
It's a crazy thing.
It's a crazy thing to
ask for.
Yeah, like if you said no pets, we get it. No pets. That's a widely known apartment thing. When you go there, if you have a pet, you need to ask if you can have a pet there or not. Cooking meat, that's like not even a question. I wouldn't even ask that. If I came in, and this is the thing that's crazy, is if you come in there and he lets you rent it out, he has to tell you from the rip, you can't cook meat here. I
think that's got to be in your lease, probably.
It has to be.
It has to be.
Oh, it has to be
Or
the
that's just
front line.
Then you just wind up on Judge Judy if you don't put that in the lease or something like that. You probably still wind up on Judge Judy. I think another important asterisk here is they say it's not that you're not allowed to eat meat, you just cannot cook it on site. You can get meat, bring it back, which can still be stinky. You can still smell. And I don't know, like there's some things, like I think bacon's an example. There could be like vegan bacon. It could smell very similar to real bacon when you're cooking it, because really what are you smelling? You're smelling maple. So how does this even enforced is the real question to me. How can you enforce this? But so at the end of the day, it is a crazy thing to ask. I think they're fair to do it though. They're just fine. do it.
If you own it, you can set whatever rules you want.
Let this serve as inspiration to make better choices in the new year. The Riot's worst of 2023.
If you were planning a vacation solely based off of food, everything else doesn't matter. Attractions, beaches, people you're with, whatever, that doesn't matter, and you just want to eat, where would you go? Getting some good texts here. Matthew texted in and said, New England for the seafood.
I do love eating seafood on vacation.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, whenever I go down to Florida, eating seafood down there, getting oysters there. When I went out to Washington to visit one of my good buddies a couple months ago, their big thing there is oysters as well, and they do seafood stuff. Had that out there. Super good.
Yeah.
I love eating seafood on vacation. That's a great pick.
It's true because a lot of times, too, seafood more expensive, so you're feeling a little more free with your budget when you're
and
on
you want
vacation.
it to be good.
Yeah, you want it to be
bad.
fresh. If you're in a landlocked area,
It can be bad.
it's not the same as getting the fresh lobster from New England or getting the fresh salmon from Seattle or whatever it is. So, yeah, that's definitely a great choice. I also see here that Max says New Orleans was his first thought as well, same as you. That was one of the top ones that came to mind. Some real good stuff in New Orleans.
Yeah, real
I've
unique.
not personally been, but I know I would love eating around New Orleans.
Yeah, it's really unique. It's kind of overwhelming at first when you go there because the food is so different and you don't know what you're going to like, but you got to be going there with an open mind, which I wasn't good at the time. I think if I went back now, as I become less picky over the years, because I probably went like 5 years ago, I think I would enjoy it more than I did the first time around.
Max also chimed in saying that he doesn't personally like grits, but he thinks shrimp and cheesy grits is real good, and he thinks I might like it.
There you go.
So that's interesting. Also, some of the ones coming in. This is obvious. This was the top thing that came to mind for me. Is Luann says Italy.
Oh, you're thinking
Lots of choices in Italy.
You're thinking outside the country.
Yeah. Oh,
We're going
yeah.
elsewhere.
Why not? Why not?
I like it.
Yeah. Think about Italy. Also, some of the ones that come to mind. Spain. If you're thinking countries, Spain, you could eat well. Obviously, France, a big food country as well, which is it's kind of a crazy thing to say, but it's true.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good food country.
Yeah, when I think of some of the other ones that I considered, one of them being, I went here, I don't know how long ago, but San Antonio, I went down there and did all the Tex-Mex. You go there, it's all Tex-Mex. It's super good, and so that was really good there. The other one, if you want to start specifying foods, Philadelphia.
For the
Philly
cheesesteak?
cheesesteaks. I love Philly cheesesteaks.
See, this is where it becomes difficult because if you're planning your whole vacation around, but it's just one style, not even style, but just one dish. How many days do you think you could eat that, even if it's really great and authentic?
See, and the other thing for me too is if we're picking a place solely based on food, if that's what we're doing, like we're not doing anything else, then I think some of those places are a little bit more, like a little bit better, because if you're not worried about what's going on there and you're just going for food, another one that I would consider that I went to was Kansas City, because I love barbecue. I could eat barbecue every single day, and I went down there for a couple days.
That's a good point.
And obviously,
I forgot about barbecue.
There's not going to be much to do. Like, there wasn't a ton to do.
Yeah.
But every time that we went out to eat and got their fantastic barbecue, that was like a big event on its own. And so those are some of the other places that I thought of right off the top of the dome that I've been to that had fantastic food.
Joe said he decided to tag along on his wife's business trip for the sole reason of going to the Hobbit Cafe in Houston, Texas.
No way.
So he's actually done this.
Just for food.
He has done this. And then Chad says Japan for sushi, for getting authentic sushi and noodles. That's a good answer, too.
That's a really good answer.
One other one I have to throw in there, Greece. Greece has some great food.
Oh, yeah.
You get some real good baklava in Greece.
A bunch of grand food.
Yeah. 8772 RadioU. If you had to plan a vacation just around eating, where would you go?
Somehow, what you're about to hear is nowhere near as bad as Jim the dog's behavior this year. 2023's worst of the riot.
The world's ugliest dog competition. It went down this weekend.
See, that seems like such a messed up thing.
You think so?
Yes.
Why
who would enter their dog into that?
I'll tell you at least one person. I'll tell you at least one dog. The winner was Scooter. Scooter's a 7-year-old Chinese crested dog. He's got his hind legs are backwards. they face the wrong way.
I'm just not noticing that it is ridiculous. He looks pretty bad.
Yeah, he's pretty ugly.
He's in pretty bad shape.
The lady who entered him is Linda Celeste Elmquist, and she considers it a great honor to have such a perfectly deserved award go to her dog.
Yeah, Scooter does not look good. He's 7 years old. He looks like he could be like 14. He looks like an old man.
He does. He looks aged for sure. So you think it's messed up they do the world's ugliest dog?
I don't know.
You
It's
don't
one of
think-
those things that just like, I mean, Scooter looks like he could be cute if he didn't have all these issues.
Yeah.
If his feet were facing the wrong way.
But
If they didn't give him that ridiculous haircut, that isn't helping either.
I don't know if that's a haircut or they say he's bald. So
His
that's
whole
that's
body?
just the hair he has.
So he only has a little bit. He has like a mohawk.
Pretty much. Whatever if you can call that a mohawk on his head, that's just how he is naturally. That's all nature's design right there.
Yeah, he's an ugly dog. Scooter does not look good.
He's not just an ugly dog. He's the ugliest dog in the world. I'm torn on this too, because if there was an ugliest human competition,
People would be upset.
Who would be in favor of that?
People would be upset.
Who wants that? It's uncalled for. But on the other hand, what else is Scooter getting awarded for? Probably not a whole lot.
He's not.
He probably doesn't have a whole lot to be proud of in life. So you give this little guy a trophy and probably a whole bunch of treats and dog biscuits and whatnot. He's probably, that's probably good enough for him. Think about it this way. If there was a world's ugliest human competition and the reward was $50K and a bunch of Buffalo Wild Wings gift cards or something, sure, name me the world's ugliest human. What do I care? At least I have something.
At least I have something.
At
I don't
least I
know if
have
that's
something.
how you would feel, to be honest.
I think I probably would.
You think that's how you would feel?
It just depends on what the prize is.
I can't imagine you feeling very good after winning that.
I think if the
being
prize is
honest
good
with
enough,
you.
you can call me whatever you want.
See, yeah, if it's like $50K, feels good. But at the same time, you're going to be living with that for a long time.
Yeah.
You're going to run through that $50K, and then all of a sudden, you're still going to be the world's ugliest human.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm putting that on my
On your
resume or my
Yeah.
Tinder profile or anything
Probably
like
not,
that.
if
Probably.
I had to guess. But yeah, like I think about like my dog Jim. He's like ugly cute, He's like ugly, but he's also cute.
Yeah, there's no chance he would win this.
Scooter's just ugly. He's not cute.
Yeah.
No cuteness there, unfortunately.
Yeah. Those it's a tough look for old Scooter, but at least now he's got something to be proud of. Something to hang his hat on.
Yeah, something to take home with him.
The world's ugliest dog. Congratulations.
You're listening to the Riot's Worst of 2023.
You guys ever heard of something called the Sunday Scaries?
Sunday
Yes.
Scaries?
You've heard of that?
Yeah.
I never heard that term, but I have heard of what it is, and I felt it, and that is the dread you get at some point on Sunday realizing I've got to go back to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I have here a new workplace wellness trend that purports to be the answer, the solution to the Sunday Scaries. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
It's called Bare Minimum Mondays. And it is a trend that is endorsed by even some workplace experts. Okay? It's not just something it's not like quiet quitting where it's just like everybody on TikTok decided, we're not going to really do much. This is endorsed by workplace solutions expert and CEO of Officeology, Adam Butler.
Well, if Adam believes in it.
I know. He's a CEO.
So is this if you are upset about having to go back and start a work week?
Uh-huh.
You would maybe be less upset if you knew Monday didn't bring so much to it.
Yeah.
You only had to do the bare minimum.
Yeah, that's exactly the thinking. That on Monday, you plan. The idea is you'll only do the absolute essential tasks you have to have done on Monday instead of focusing on everything else you have to get done the entire week. And then by doing that, it takes a lot off of your plate. It helps you feel less overwhelmed. And if you want to take it even a little further, you plan for your lunch break on Monday Maybe you take a little longer lunch break. Maybe you go for a nice walk to soak up some sun and, get some fresh air, experience
bare
nature.
minimum.
Or maybe you prioritize squeezing a hobby in to that lunch break as well, so that Monday doesn't feel so threatening anymore.
Now, I thought we talked a few weeks ago about a study that said, like, what was the days? Because we talked, okay, well, what day do we try to get the most done so that, certain other days are less? And did we talk about, like, Monday was the one we most aggressively go after?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a Would You Rather Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we
Where
thought,
if we could just leave a day off,
what would you leave
it
off?
would definitely be Monday. No, it would not be Monday.
It would be Friday.
We picked Friday.
Yeah, and Monday is more important because you try to start the week off by getting more stuff
some
done.
work done.
But
yeah.
that's why Monday feels so daunting.
Well, you're stressed.
Yeah, you have to ease yourself into the work week by doing the bare minimum on Monday, doing slightly more than the bare minimum on Tuesday, and then by
Build up Wednesday.
and then you go back down the slope, going back to Thursday.
Wednesday
and
is
Friday.
supposed to be your most productive day.
So what's today then? What's a
Well,
Thursday?
Thursday.
I like how Adam, this is like a really great way to do things. You come up with a new theory or trend that everyone's been doing since the beginning of time. That's
Just give
really
it a name?
It's really creative, and I think on Fridays he also should come up with one where nobody also wants to work after like noon. I think that would also be helpful for Adam. So I think this was a great idea of coining something that we've all been doing.
we
Yeah.
didn't know maybe there was an official term for
Yeah.
it.
Mhm. Well, that's
Well, now that Adam says you could do it, I don't want to.
you don't want to.
I'll rather do bare minimum on other days.
I think I want to do bare minimum every day. Yeah, and
I think that's what
then
everyone's trying to do.
by doing the bare minimum every day. Any day where you do more than the bare minimum, it will seem to your boss like you're really a go-getter.
Well, just make sure you have down bare minimum Monday. You're still not working Friday. That's from our other talk. So
Yeah.
Right.
that really only leaves Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as actual work days.
And there's no way we can actually work for 3 entire days. So.
Well, I mean, we'll have to come up with something else to make one of those days easier.
Yeah, roll those all into one. If you get one entire day's work done combined on the 5 days
Okay.
of work for the week.
Let's just call it Work Wednesday. That's the only day you
Just
work.
come into work on Wednesday.
Worst of the Riot 2023.
And of course, you've heard of cheating when it comes to a relationship. But have you heard of micro cheating?
Like a little baby bit.
Yeah.
Just like a little wee baby bit.
There's some things that are full on cheating and some things that are micro cheating. And so this is kind of a debate that's been circling around. Really, I mean, I feel like some of these, as long as relationships have existed, the question has been, is this really cheating? Is it micro cheating? Is it not cheating at all? Some might say. And now some of these are circling around the debate on TikTok as well. You want me to throw out a few options and you tell me if they're micro cheating, full on cheating, or maybe
Not
nothing
cheating at all?
Yeah. How about
Let's do it.
I think this is a good one to start with. Liking posts of people on social media, just let's say it's somebody that could potentially be another love interest.
It's not cheating, but you're still going to get in trouble.
You're gonna get in trouble. Is it micro cheating? Does that sounds like micro cheating to me?
Giving attention to someone else?
Not enough to end the relationship necessarily, but a bad sign potentially, and something that you could get in trouble for.
I think as long as the photo that they posted isn't like something crazy, like a bikini pic or something like that.
That's full on cheating?
No, that's micro cheating.
That's micro.
I think if it's a picture of just like her with her friends, then that's not cheating at all.
You're just being supportive.
That's just
Yeah,
liking a
just
photo.
have a good time.
It's a good photo.
What am I not supposed to like that she's having a good time?
She's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
She's out with her friends having fun.
You could just not like it though.
You could not like it.
You could just internally think about liking it and
Yes.
then not like it. It's probably
But at the same time, that's
safer call.
Yeah, I'm not saying what I would do, or what you should do. But if you ask me, do I think it's cheating? I would say no.
If you had to lay down the law,
I say no.
if you had to set it in stone, you say it's not cheating.
I say nay.
It's not even micro cheating.
I'm not even micro cheating, unless yet again. But there's also that line there. If it's like yet again like a bikini pic or a scandalous photo,
Okay.
then that could be micro cheating.
What if it's like What if it's like form-fitting clothes?
Whoa, now I can't be getting like that close.
Is that a gray area?
Gray
like
area.
A gym pick?
I mean, you're going to get in trouble no matter what the photo is, yes. But when we're talking about micro-cheating or not cheating at all, I say nay.
What if, okay, here's another one. What about like confiding in your ex?
Or like talking to him?
Talking to him at all, but especially like telling them something, not necessarily about your relationship, just about like, yeah, I've really had a tough time with something.
You can't be doing that.
Is that full on cheating? Is that full emotional cheating?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think that's for sure micro cheating if you're talking to them about stuff. Because if you're talking to them about stuff, then why can't you just talk to your significant other of now about whatever your issue is?
I mean, I can see scenarios.
Maybe like a wild one.
Yeah.
Where you convince
You
yourself.
definitely don't want to be talking to your ex about your current relationship.
That's crazy talk. You can't be doing that.
That is something. But I can see if you still have a good relationship with your ex, it could still be, that's still fraught with danger.
A lot of danger there.
Yeah. What about like inside jokes with somebody that could be, like that's kind of
like a gal friend?
Yeah, that basically falls under that could be under the umbrella of flirting. Is that micro cheating or not cheating at all?
I think if she's your friend, she's your girlfriend, and you guys are just jokey jokes, it seems like you're flirting, you're probably not, then I would say nay, not cheating at all.
Now, your
girlfriend's still going to hate it. She's going to hate it.
Yeah. Here's one last thing. Do you think maybe what defines what is micro cheating or not cheating at all is your reaction if somebody questions you on it?
Oh, it could be, yeah.
If you get real defensive, does that show perhaps that you are micro cheating?
I agree, yes. Your girlfriend, yet again, she'll be mad either way.
Yeah.
But she, depending on how you react to it, could even be more mad.
What's the tactic?
You just laugh it off.
You just say,
no big deal.
You apologize?
You know, I'm sorry about that. I didn't even realize that you thought that's what was going on. It's not.
Yeah, but I'll stop.
But I will stop doing it if it makes you feel uncomfortable.
Because I want you to be happy and
Precisely, yes.
2023's Worst, The Riot, RadioU.
What is the most important thing when you're looking for somebody to date?
There's so many answers I could give. But
there can only be one most important thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna lead off with a compatible personality. That sounds like a good answer, right?
That sounds like a pretty good answer.
Like if someone was like possibly searching for a partner, that's an answer they would want me to give as their potential partner, right? You would think so, eh?
So is that actually the truth? Or
it might be or may not
what
be.
What you're saying to try to improve your chances. The true answer, if you want to actually be in the majority here, it's financial responsibility, financial stability.
Oh, really? That's the top?
That is the most important thing, according to a survey of singles here in 2023. The number one thing you can do to make yourself attractive to whoever you're trying to attract is have some money.
That's ridiculous.
If you're poor, you're staying single.
Oh, man. What a tough time to be dating nowadays. You better get a new job. Like, what are you supposed to do? You're just supposed to get a new job, I guess. Make some more money.
Start saving. Or this is what you could do. You could start making it appear like you have money. Yes. But in fact, if you ever get found out, then it's even worse for you.
What you have to do is, it's like anything in dating. In the beginning, you have to be like perfect, right? Where they like really like you, get them to like you, and then once they actually like you a lot, then you can show all your flaws and they're stuck with you. That's how everybody's relationships are. So if in the beginning you just are flexing like crazy, you got a nice watch, you got a nice chain, whatever it is that you do that makes you look like you have a lot of money, and then a couple months down the line when they already really like you, then you're like, just so you know, I'm a fraud.
Yeah.
I have no money. I'm poor. These are the only things I own of value. They're all fake anyway.
I got them from Rent-A-Center, so
they were passed down from my grandmother. It's the only things of value I own.
But here's the question, though. This is talking about like having money, but also being fiscally responsible, I think. So does that mean that having like flexing with a expensive watch, for example, would actually be a turnoff to people? Because they're like, oh, this guy wastes his money on junk. on stuff that's not actually important.
Smart.
He should be saving it for our future.
Got it. All you have to do, ready? All you have to do is just study up on the stock market. Talk about it all the time. About how you're investing. I'm saving my 401k.
I'm making my money work for me.
I have all good credit. My credit score's incredible. Those kind of things.
Without your Robinhood account and just be flashing that everywhere.
Exactly.
That might be the true key, the true answer to finding somebody who you can go out with. That is, according to this, more important than physical appearance, being in good shape, political beliefs. It all pales in comparison to the importance of your finances when it comes to dating. So keep that in mind.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Tough looks for all of us here.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess for the people that, if you are relying on those things and you are good with your finances, then you're feeling good. If you're relying on being good looks and being funny, not so good for you.
Yeah.
The good news is the Riot is on vacation now. The bad news is that doesn't mean you get a break from them. This is the Riot's Worst of 2023.
What is the most important thing when you're looking for somebody to date?
A good, you know, there's so many answers I could give. I'm going to lead off.
But there can only be one most important thing.
Yeah, I'm going to lead off with what, like a compatible personality. That sounds like a good answer, right?
That sounds like a pretty good answer.
Like if someone was like possibly searching for a partner, that's an answer they would want me to give as their potential partner, right? You would think so, eh?
So is that actually the truth?
It might be or may not
what
be.
What you're saying to try to improve your chances. The true answer, if you want to actually be in the majority here, it's financial responsibility, financial stability.
Oh, really? That's the top?
That is the most important thing, according to a survey of singles here in 2023. The number one thing you can do to make yourself attractive to whoever you're trying to attract is have some money. If you're
That's
poor,
ridiculous.
If you're poor, you're staying single.
Oh, man. What a tough time to be dating nowadays. You better get a new job. Like, what are you supposed to do? You're just supposed to get a new job, I guess. Make some more money.
Start saving. Or this is what you could do. You could start making it appear like you have money.
Yes.
But in fact, if you ever get found out, then it's even worse for you. What
you have to do is, it's like anything in dating. In the beginning, you have to be like perfect, right? Where they like really like you, get them to like you, and then once they actually like you a lot, then you can show all your flaws and they're stuck with you. That's how everybody's relationships are. So if in the beginning you just are flexing like crazy, you got a nice watch, you got a nice chain, whatever it is that you do that makes you look like you have a lot of money, and then a couple months down the line when they already really like you, then you're like, just so you know, I'm a fraud.
Yeah.
I have no money. I'm poor. These are the only things I own of value. They're all fake anyway.
I got them from Rent-A-Center, so they
were passed down from my grandmother. It's the only things of value I own.
But here's the question, though. This is talking about like having money, but also being fiscally responsible, I think. So does that mean that having like flexing with a expensive watch, for example, would actually be a turnoff to people because they're like, oh, this guy wastes his money on junk, on stuff that's not actually important.
Smart.
He should be saving it for our future.
Got it. All you have to do, ready? All you have to do is just study up on the stock market. Talk about it all the time. About how you're investing. I'm saving my 401k.
I'm making my money work for me.
I have all good credit. My credit score's incredible. Those kind of things.
Without your Robinhood account and just be flashing that everywhere.
Exactly.
That might be the true key, the true answer to finding somebody who you can go out with. That is, according to this, more important than physical appearance, being in good shape, political beliefs. It all pales in comparison to the importance of your finances when it comes to dating. So keep that in mind.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Tough looks for all of us here.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess for the people that, if you are relying on those things and you are good with your finances, then you're feeling good. If you're relying on being good looks and being funny, not so good for you.
Yeah.
This isn't the worst thing anyone did this year, but it is the worst thing that anyone did on The Riot, 2023's Worst of the Riot.
got a gal here who just publicly announced one of her icks, and it is causing controversy. People are torn on whether this is an appropriate complaint for men or not. This gal, her name is Chloe. She tweeted out, she said, "Men who carry water bottles out in public give me the ick, especially at the airport." She goes on to say, "You can't go a few hours without having your little sips of water. Carrying around anything is a feminine trait."
Oh, geez. What can we do? That's the question nowadays.
So you're pro carrying a water bottle out in public.
I mean, I don't ever carry a water bottle. I could see it being a feminine thing. But for me personally, I think it's fine if you carry one.
I think she makes a compelling case.
You think so?
At first, I was torn myself. I was like, well, I don't carry a water bottle except at work. Doesn't really count, right?
I've seen you twirling it, yeah.
Twirling it. But imagining somebody, just picturing a guy in my head that's just strolling around town, walking out on the sidewalk, walking through the airport, and he's got his own portable water bottle. Get over yourself, you know?
Get over yourself.
Get over yourself.
It's like the most vital nutrient we have is water.
Yeah, and almost everybody somehow manages to go through life without carrying one.
Yeah, but I feel
there's water fountains everywhere.
There's
water fountains everywhere.
Everyone has a water fountain or a water bottle.
Yeah, I never bring it with me anywhere.
What are you talking about? You carry one with you all day at work. What do you mean?
Yeah, but I don't go. When I leave work, it stays here. I don't carry it with me. This is a small building. I have it at my desk.
Yeah, I mean, if you're carrying with you around all day, that's different than going to the airport. I mean, you're about to get on a plane for 6 hours flying somewhere. You might need some water. I get it.
There's water fountains everywhere.
On a plane? There's no water on a plane. Unless you're drinking out of the toilet.
That's what
your one little thing of Sprite, your little quarter ounce of Sprite is for that you get on the plane.
Yeah,
no
you'll
way.
be fine. You'll be fine. How long is your flight?
I mean, it could be anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. You might want to drink a water. It still looks like a prepared guy to me.
But what's more important, drinking water or looking impressive to women?
See,
I like to show my masculinity by not drinking water.
I think women should be impressed when a man brings a water bottle to the airport because that means that he's thinking ahead. He's always thinking. If you walk into an airport, no water bottle, I think you're ridiculous.
I'm about to go on a flight in less than a week, and you know what I'm not taking with me? A water bottle.
The best man. You want to know who the best man is at the airport? The guy that brings in the plastic bottle. He drinks one before he goes through security. Because you can't take water through security.
No, yeah, you can.
And then you go through with just the plastic bottle. You get on the other side, you fill it up with the water fountain, get on the plane. That right there is your most prime man of all time.
I don't know. It's icky. She's convinced me.
That it's icky to have a water bottle?
Yeah.
See, now again, I add this to the list of things that I can't do. I can't, sit down in a certain way. I can't carry a water bottle to drink water with. I think it's just a never-ending list. So I would say that she can be one that doesn't have to be attracted to me. That's okay.
2024 can't get here soon enough. 2023's Worst of the Riot.
We get a little more positive around here. Positive here and just in the world. I think people need to be more positive, need to be nicer to each other, kinder. Which is why we need to do better jobs of complimenting others.
That would be good.
Yeah, particularly men.
Wait, now, all right, never mind.
As in, men need to get more compliments.
You guys need more compliments?
Yeah.
All right.
So I have a list here.
You almost had us.
Of tips and tricks of how to compliment a man properly in a way that a man will really enjoy. Isaiah, you ready for this?
Oh, I love compliments.
You ready to see if we sign off on this, if this list is accurate? All right, tip number 1. So first of all, I have things that you should compliment a man on. 1, physical appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me it looks good.
Big one.
Yeah, your hair looks really nice today, Isaiah.
Thank you, Nikki.
It looks wonderful. It does. Hudson, your Sabre hat on point.
Thank you. I'm just glad you knew which team it was.
Thank you. Of course.
I also had the shirt that says Sabres with the same logo.
Oh, he's matching. He's so fashionable.
Well, they got a big win last night.
He always matches.
Compliment him. Compliment your man on specific tasks. Did he do a good job for something? It says here,
Like if they showed up for work today?
That's a specific
Hey.
task.
I don't know. That feels a little
Condescending.
backhanded. But it says here, whether it's something simple like taking out the trash or something a little more involved. I don't know if I need anybody to, thanks for taking out the trash.
I do.
You do.
You
You
need a
want
thanks?
that?
I'd like it.
A thanks is different, though. Thanks is okay. A, wow, you did a good job taking out the trash. That feels, again, a little backhanded.
So maybe not so much a compliment
condescending.
as a thank you for doing it.
Now, this is a good one. Compliment a man on his personality.
Mm-hmm.
Specific. All right. I thought you'd have one loaded.
I wasn't ready
You're
for
looking
that
at the
one.
same list. I thought you might know that.
You might have one ready now.
I
That
mean,
one
I
ready.
did on the hat and the hair.
You keep
Yeah.
thinking. You keep thinking about that one. Here's some tips of how to make a compliment most impactful for a man. Make sure you're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, make sure it's a
just something
compliment
they
that you would
say.
think they would want to
Yeah.
hear.
Okay, yeah.
Based off of the situation. 2, be specific. I think that's big. You know, you can't just say, Nikki, don't just tell Isaiah you like his hair.
Mhm.
What do you like about his hair?
That it looks so fluffy but done. Like it looks great. Not too short, but just
Fluffy but
contained.
done.
Contained.
Fluffy but
It
done.
looks great.
Interesting way to describe it.
Oh, you're right. That's so much better, Hudson.
Yeah,
Thank
That was
you.
really good.
That was
I
an
kinda like the
impactful
first one.
compliment.
Better.
Let's see.
The sides are nice.
Yeah.
Don't compliment a man and expect the same in return. We're not going to compliment you. Next.
Because then that sometimes you guys don't mean to, but it can also be insulting.
and then don't overdo it.
Sure.
You know, if you say Isaiah has nice hair every day, he's just going to get used to it.
Well, that's on this list too. They say don't do the same superficial things all the time. So if you're only doing like his appearance, that'll
Switch
get
it up.
old. You got to get to his character, accomplishments, or positive qualities.
So what do you make of this list so far, Isaiah?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah?
I like it.
You think all these tips are accurate?
Yeah, I think it's all pretty accurate. I think so far it's all been hitting it right on the nose. Yes, I agree.
You want to hear some examples of
Oh, I love the examples. I've been waiting for this the whole time.
Okay.
I don't think most of these work for you guys.
I like the first one.
I love the way you think is example number 1.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That is
For some
good.
reason, no one ever says that to us.
Aw, all right. Well, we'll
At least
we'll
to me
highlight
anyways.
that. Here, you're a great listener.
Or there's another good one. You always know exactly what to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, nobody ever says that.
Oh, wait, here. Okay, both of you, Isaiah and Hudson, it's amazing how hard you work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that's the
I don't
truth.
know.
That
Yeah.
is the truth.
Yeah. Do you guys feel more pride now?
It is. It's one of those things where it feels like there is a little tone.
No.
Like
Did
a
you hear
little
the tone? Did you
No.
hear it a little
Yeah, a
bit?
little
There's something there.
sarcasm,
I was
perhaps.
glad there's a work-related one. It's at number 8 on the list.
How about I love you just the way you are?
Man,
Try to
overrated.
say, yeah, I mean, you sound like Billy Joel. You're such a good cook. I would love to hear that.
Okay.
That is one of the top ones. Maybe it's because my wife normally doesn't like when I cook. So the couple times when I nail it and she's like, you did a good job, that's a big one.
Oof, number 14. I love how you took the lead on this.
Boom.
Good one. All right.
Now if I just have to start taking the lead on stuff. Or you could just lie also.
There's a long list. If you,
I like number 19.
There's a lot.
Number 19.
Oh, laugh at his jokes.
Now, there's no better
Aw.
compliment than that, right? And that is, we get that a lot from Nikki, I think. Whether it's just from uncomfortability or
Mainly.
actually genuine laughs.
You'll never know.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a useful list. I think Nikki, save this, bookmark it,
Okay.
keep an eye on it, because you'll need it.
I will do 1 or 2 compliments every morning during this show.
Woohoo.
Now, see if you notice when I do it or not. And it might be the same ones every day.
Most people wouldn't want this clip played again, but Hudson and Isaiah aren't most people. The Riot's worst of 2023.
You can text the show if you have something to say. A lot of people have something to say about the gal who says an ick for her is guys carrying around water bottles. And I'm kind of with, I didn't know I had an opinion on this at first, but then when I when I thought about it. Having your own personal water bottle that you like carry around, reusable. It's different. You got to think of Aquafina, whatever. But Chloe on Twitter complained that carrying around anything is a feminine trait, including particularly a reusable water bottle. Nobody agrees with me on this except her, but I'm thinking about it. When you're a man, right?
I'm a man, yes.
You got to have your hands free to do things, right?
What do you mean?
What if there's a task?
What do you mean a task? Like when I'm walking down the street?
Yeah. What if something
like all of a sudden I gotta catch something?
Yeah. What if something is falling and it's your responsibility to catch it?
Well,
and your hand's full of a water bottle.
Well, a real man would just catch it anyway. I got a water bottle in hand. I would slide it down to like the elbow. Still catch it. That's what a man would do.
I think the real way to be prepared is not having anything in your hands and being ready for whatever comes at you.
Being ready for whatever's next.
Yeah.
See, I think, I think having water on deck, being hydrated. I'm not a big fan of headaches. I like to avoid headaches if possible. Good way to do that, drinking water. So for me personally, it sounds like this girl is more of a headache, and I'm not double down with headaches. You don't want to double down. If I'm not carrying around a water bottle and I'm listening to her in my ear, that's going to be double down headache if I had to guess. I hope she's a 10 out of 10, because if she's anything less than a 10, I don't even know what we're talking about, her giving me a neck like this. I mean, there's no way you can tell me not to carry around water. You would have to be the most beautiful girl of all time for me not to have water.
Well, a lot of people are texting in. It's like, well, if you're out in the sun all day, you need to have water. That's way different. If you're doing construction, have your big jug of water. But if you're walking through the airport, I think you can survive.
Well, for 8 hours? You had like the airport's this quick little thing.
There's
like you get there at 6 a.m. in the morning, and a lot of times you get off the plane at like 4 p.m. in the afternoon.
There's a water fountain every like 20 feet in an airport.
But you're on the plane. There's no water on the plane.
They have flight attendants. Their purpose is to attend to you. If you say, excuse me, flight attendant, I need water, what are they going to say? No?
I mean, if you ask for water, yeah. I mean, they're going to give you that little glass, but I'm just more of someone who I would rather have my own.
I think I just can't disagree with Chloe. I don't know what she looks like. It doesn't matter. She's right. I've got more important things to have full of my hands than a water bottle at all times.
See, I just think that the water bottle, especially I think in the airport, is one of the most important times to have it. I mean, you might not need it 24 hours of the day walking around in your typical day-to-day life, but when I go to the airport, I've got a water bottle, and I mean, the texts are resoundingly against you.
Jonathan says, my water goes in my bag.
Yeah.
Unless I have a woman to carry it for me.
Oh, Jonathan. Oh, goodness gracious.
No, but I don't know. I've got, I've got things to do. I've got stuff to carry, and it's not a water
What are you
bottle.
carrying? I don't understand that you got like your hands are so full all the time.
If I'm at the airport, I've got bags. I've got carry-ons and stuff. Why is your water bottle in your hand?
Heck, I mean, I'm just saying, if you carry it around a water bottle, you carry it around.
And just the
I
top
don't think it's the end of the world.
The top thing, even more than the airport, the top thing I think of is you're walking on the sidewalk. It's not like you're going from place to place. It's not like you've been working out in the sun all day. You're just walking on the sidewalk. Why do you have a reusable water bottle?
I'm just saying, I think if you have a water bottle in your hand, I'm never going to be walking down the street and being like, oh my gosh, a water bottle? Who is this guy? Why is he carrying that thing around? That's so ridiculous. I think I'm going to walk down the street, I won't even notice they have a water bottle. I would never notice. Who is this girl to notice that someone has a water bottle in their hand? What kind of a weirdo notices someone with a water bottle in their hand? A wild ask of a man to not carry a water bottle. A wild ask.
We've spent way too much time on this, although all the feedback disagrees.
Let this serve as inspiration to make better choices in the new year. The Riot's Worst of 2023.
Get rid of outdated stereotypes. It's 2023. It's time for us to move on. Get on with the times. So one outdated stereotype we need to move on from, that men are insensitive. Men are actually more likely to cry than women.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
I have here a survey that says men, on average, admit to crying about 4 times a month. Women, only 3 times a month.
Impossible.
That's what it says right here.
I don't believe that for 30 seconds.
It's what it says right here. 4 times a month is a wild number. How many times a month do you cry?
That's like once a week.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that for anybody that's been crying today. If you're a guy that's been crying today,
man or woman,
it's okay.
Uh-huh.
But for once a week, That seems, yet again, for me as a person that's pretty happy, that seems a bit aggressive.
Yeah, actually,
Cry-wise.
you know what? You say not that there's anything wrong with that. I think there is something wrong. It's not crying. It's not the act of crying that's the problem. But if you came to me and you said, yeah, I cry 4 times a month, I'd be like, what is wrong? What's happening to you? Who are you living with? What is going on? Who are your friends? What are you doing at work? Because something is not right if you're crying 4 times a month.
Yeah, that's a lot of crying. But maybe at the same time, some people are just more sensitive than others. Some people would cry at other things others wouldn't. You know, I don't really get stressed out.
Yeah.
Some people cry just because of stress, just daily stresses.
Uh-huh.
That for me, I'd be like, well, I'll figure it out.
Can you think of the last time you cried?
The last time that I cried.
Was it when you watched Brother Bear on Sunday?
No, but
No,
that was
close,
tough. There was one time I
close
smashed
call.
my finger. I nearly cried out of pain,
Uh-huh.
but I was in a public setting, so I held it together. But I think of sadness. I haven't cried in years.
Yeah.
Centuries. Who knows? Probably like in the past. I mean, I've definitely cried this year.
Yeah.
At some point, I was real sad. What about you? When was the last time you cried?
No, I don't know. Occasionally I'll get a little choked up, but like the actual last time I would say cry, I have no idea. And it's not because it happens so frequently that I just don't even keep track of it. It's because it happens so infrequently that I don't remember. And I'm not saying that because I want to be a big manly man.
Big tough guy.
I think it's fine for guys to cry.
I think it's cool to cry.
You think so?
I think it's cool. Yeah.
Would you think better of me if I just started weeping right
No,
now?
I wouldn't think that. I mean,
So
I
not
think
that kind of
I think
cool.
it's okay to cry. I think it's fine. If you want to cry, you can cry. I would prefer you not do it in front of me because then I'm gonna feel awful awkward.
That's uncomfortable.
I'm gonna feel
yeah.
really uncomfortable if you're crying in front of me.
It says here that for men, 37% would consider being called sensitive a compliment, whereas only 23% of women perceive that as a compliment. So if you walk up to if you walk up to a gal and say, "Oh, you're so sensitive," that's an insult.
I can see that being an insult.
Doesn't it all matter in how you say it?
It is, and it's timing too.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I feel as if you can be a sensitive guy and not cry though.
Yeah.
Because like I would say when I watched, like I would say the last time I probably cried if I saw a tear roll down, it's probably watching a TikTok.
Oh yeah.
More than likely, because there's a lot of things in my life that make me very sad. But I think if I'm watching a real emotional TikTok,
Yeah.
I might let a tear go.
Does it usually involve pets?
Oh, it could be dogs.
Dogs.
Are they're big ones. Sadness, the military reuniting videos, things like that.
Uh-huh.
We all know the ones that get us. Everybody has something that gets us.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you can cry at that.
Actually, you know what? I think I just remember the last time I cried.
When was
I'm
it?
having a breakthrough right now.
Here we go.
I think the last time I cried, I was listening to a guy talk about his dog that he had for a long time and it passed away. And then and he was like talking about it like at length. And then I started thinking about when one day my Zafira, the dog, is going to die.
So
And
sad.
Yeah, that was the last thing that got me. That was probably about a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah,
It was a while ago.
Yeah, what? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
That's the last time you can remember crying?
That's the last time I can recall.
You're crazy. I feel like the last time I cried was like a couple of weeks back. I was watching this real emotional video about this guy who got like shot, but like he like lived through it and like went through this like traumatic experience. So it was like a big thing that I saw on TikTok.
Oh, well, I don't watch those.
You don't watch those? It got me.
Because
It
I
got
don't
me
want to
good.
cry, I guess.
He was like, I was crawling and all of a sudden I was
protecting
lifted up.
myself.
Oh, it's just so good. But yeah, for
Wow.
me personally, I feel like I've definitely cried more recently than you have, I guess.
I'm pretty sure you're probably right. Well, I guess just think about if you're a guy. Apparently, it's okay to cry.
I think it always has been.
No, not in the 60s.
Not in the olden days.
Yeah, but now it's fine.
Worst of the Riot 2023.
You seen anybody on TikTok particularly live quitting their job? You ever seen this?
Like quitting their job while on live?
Yeah.
No, people are doing that?
Yeah, people are streaming, and people have been doing this. I mean, I guess as long as you could live stream, somebody's been doing it, but it really is something that kind of took off in 2021 and now is fairly commonplace where you would live quit your job, take a video of you quitting where people do it in all sorts of different ways, where it's just them pressing send on their resignation letter, which
That's lame.
That feels lame to me. That could be fake. Easily faked, easily forged.
And like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like
There's
if
not,
I
there's
send
not
an
even
email,
like there's not an interaction there.
yeah, I want it face to face if you're gonna do it. I'd rather be in
Yeah.
person too if you're gonna do it. If you're gonna do it live.
So some of the better ones are where you would actually go ahead and quit over Zoom, quit over the phone. Maybe you even live stream yourself quitting face to face. And so you might be asking, why are people doing this?
I'm wondering. I feel like it has to be, if I had to guess, for attention.
Well, why does anybody do anything?
That's what I'm
online?
thinking.
Why do we do what we do? Because we're desperate for somebody to pay attention to us. But it's more than that. According to experts, because this is a real trend. I mean, if you search for quit talk on TikTok, you're going to find millions upon millions of results. And so it's a couple things. One is just for people our age and like people that are growing up. This is all like live streaming everything, especially your big moments of your life. That's normal. Having it online.
I guess so.
Why would you not? You'd live stream your wedding if you could. You'd live stream who knows what else. Why would you not live stream quitting your job?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like. I mean, that's like for some people, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For the people that tickety talk.
Yeah.
But the people that just have like a normal life, like me,
Uh.
I don't really do much of live streaming.
Yeah. No. Maybe we should, but
I'm not really on the stream like that. That
Yeah.
live stream.
No. If we want the followers and the attention, that's what we need to do. Another thing is that some experts are saying is that a lot of people growing up now, because it's obviously mostly younger people doing this, they saw their parents. It's like a way of making sure they don't turn out like their parents because they saw their parents not have a good work-life balance, get burnt out at work. And they're like, I'm not going to wind up like that. I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to show it to the whole world.
Best of luck.
Yeah, I think that's a stretch.
That's a wild reason to go live and quit.
I think.
I mean, you can quit your job in silence and do the exact same thing. But if you want to go live, go live.
Yeah. Well, but if you're going to quit, why not stream it? Who knows what will happen?
True.
But here's what I think. Here's the real reason I think is that a lot of times when you're quitting your job, it's not like you're not 100% sure you should quit. It's probably, unless it's like one massive thing that happened at work and you're like, well, I'm not putting up with this. I think there's, you're kind of unsure about it, but you're like, a bunch of stuff is built up. I'm not happy here anymore. And so I'm finally going to do it. I'm finally going to quit. It's something you thought about for a long time, but you want people to side with you. And so if you live stream it, and then you're going to get a bunch of people showing up in the comments being like, yeah, they're seeing only your side of the story. Yeah, they did suck. You were right to quit. You feel better about yourself. You felt like you were justified, like you did the right thing, where internally leading up to that, you might not have been fully sure.
All I know is if someone ever quits a job and they're quitting to me, and I'm on live stream, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah.
That's going to really make me mad. If I see what you live streamed the time you were quitting, that's ridiculous.
I just wanted people to see your face, to see what you thought, your
Wasn't
reaction
happy.
in the moment.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.